Hi folks, this is update 3 on my Dettinger Tracks group build. It's a group build hosted by Tactical Jackalope, and this is the oak tree I've made for the diorama. I've needed about 40 days to do it, out of which 30 days have been used gluing leaves one by one. I hope you like it, since it has taken a considerable effort. Personally, I'm quite happy with the result, and I can tell you that even if all that effort can look tedious, I had in fact a great time making it. It's quite relaxing in fact. If you add super glue on a foil container, the glue is going to remain fresh for at least half an hour, and you can indeed see how leaves grow moderately quickly on those branches. But of course, you don't need to be in a hurry, otherwise you're gonna lose your mind. I would describe it like a Zen activity. So you need to face the task ahead with a calm disposition, and that's it. As you can see, the foliage shows late summer colors with dominant green hues and reddish tones on superior areas. I've also added some dead branches with older dead leaves with a whitish tone. Here too. I've tried to make it as realistic as possible, and of course I've used real leaves and this oak leaf bunch, which is really useful. Anyway, let me show you what I did in order to create this oaky thing. I started working with the styrofoam base. I drew the lines for the tracks and covered it with several layers of dust white clay. Then I sculpted the tree trunk with white clay using several wires that acted as a backbone and also as roots, which would sustain the tree and the styrofoam base. I went on working with the secondary branches, twisting more wires. These branches were later attached to the main trunk using a driller and super glue. That's the look of the tree at the end of this process, and that's precisely where I want the mother. In my opinion, this is the most difficult part. You need to cover these secondary branches with white clay, and you have to do it with several layers, allowing 24-hour periods to let them dry. In fact, the first layer will act as a primer base for later additions. I've said it's difficult because these wires have bad adherence, so you have to battle with them a little bit. I had more fun with this part. That's when we start defining the outer skin. So I'm adding here a last bark layer. As you see, I'm working with the surface, giving it the proper bark texture on the trunk. Secondary branches are going to show less detail, and consequently they will have a smoother surface. That's how the tree looked at the end of this phase. Smaller branch textures were dealt with a file. I primed the whole thing with Mr. Surfacer. You need to do this because after working white clay with a file, surfaces may develop a peachy fur after adding acrylic primer. Okay, the base color was airbrushed using this mix. Black acrylics are just 10% of this mix. The other two colors were mixed in similar proportions. The tree was later mapped with a brush using this brownish mix in equal proportions. Trees are not exactly brown in real life, so I used my favorite tool in my tree painting compulsion, and that's Minx Rainmark FX, which was applied with a mapping technique. but bearing always in mind that now you're dealing with lights over the previously shadowy colors. That's how it looked at the end of the process. Finally, individual colors, shadows and lights were highlighted in key areas in order to enhance variability, otherwise it would have looked too uniform and boring. Monotony was also attacked with woodland scenic turf, which you can turn into moss. This dry plant is called seafoam and can be easily found in any miniature shop. I airbrushed it with camo black brown acrylics, and I'm going to use it in order to make small branches. As you can see, I started gluing them with super glue. This is the completed tree after a couple of days work. I live in a city whose character is framed by plane trees, so I have an unlimited access to these wonderful leaves. I let them dry and painted them with green acrylics, and of course I used the oak punch to create hundreds of mini oak leaves. This is the leaf gluing mantra I told you before. I guess you need to be patient and forget stress. After 1 month working with these leaves, I sprayed all this organic material with matte varnish in order to preserve its qualities. And that's all. And here you have the oak tree next to the mother, so that you can have an impression of what the vignette is going to look like. There are just two main characters here, the mother and the oak tree, and now I'll just need to work with soil effects and late summer vegetation to complete it. I hope you like it, and I also hope that on the next update you see the final reveal for this build. Till then, have fun with the hobby and see you in the next one. Bye bye!